Welcome to AP Biology. Today I want to talk about linked genes, or genes that sort independently or not independently, or you can talk about genes that are on the same chromosome or not. So if genes are linked, we would have them on the same chromosome very close. So maybe freckles and hair color, maybe red hair. Maybe those are close together on the same chromosome. We would say that they're linked genes. We would say they do not sort independently. And we would say, let's see, linked genes do not sort independently, and we would say they are on the same chromosome. So that's all true of these linked genes. Not linked genes, though, if genes are unlinked or not linked, we would say that they are not linked. We would say that they do sort independently, and I'll show you that. And we would say that they are not on the same chromosome. Or either they're not on the same chromosome, or they're very far apart on a chromosome, so that crossover is very likely to happen. So don't confuse this with X-linked or sex-linked, same part of the name, but X-linked means it's on an X chromosome. Sex-linked means it's either on an X or a Y. Linked genes just mean that they're on any old chromosome but close to each other. So the closer genes are on a chromosome, the more likely they are to be linked, the tighter they are. Crossover is going to be rare. Whereas genes that are very far apart on the same chromosome, crossover is just as likely to happen as not happen. So we would say those are unlinked. Okay, so I have an example here. We've got fruit flies that have a certain body color. And there's B and B plus. And notice the regular way that we write these, like B, capital B, lowercase b, we're writing them a little bit differently today, but that's okay. So B is going to be for black or ebony body, and that's the recessive one. B plus is the wild type one, which is just like a brown body. So that's one trait, but we're interested in this other trait. Notice that the B plus, or the B and the VG, are very close together on the same chromosome, or pretty close. So we're also looking at wings. That's our other trait. So this is going to be a dihybrid cross. And the wings can either be VG or VG plus. So notice that there's two letters, but it means one allele. So the VG would be for vestigial wings, which means tiny little short wings that don't do much, and VG plus would be normal wings. So the normal wings are like the dominant one. So here's a fruit fly's chromosomes, one that they had gotten from mom and one that they had gotten from dad. And notice they're heterozygous. They are B, B plus, and VG, VG plus. So the dominant ones are the pluses ones, these two. So the color of this one is going to be brown, and its wing type is going to be normal. So it's a brown fruit fly that's normal. And then this one is the recessive one, so this is going to be a black one. So it's going to be two Bs, BB, and two VGs. VG itself is just an allele, even though we're using two letters for it. So this one is completely recessive. It is going to be black in color, and it's going to have normal wings. So when this segregates, you can get a B with a VG, like you see here, a B and a VG. You can get a B with a VG plus, like you see here. You can get a B plus with a VG, like you see here, or a B plus with a VG plus, like you see here. So if these were not linked, you would get this. Here's the gamete that you're getting. Actually, I'm showing you the kid that's produced, but here are actually the gametes, the eggs right here. So this must be mom. And so if you have independent assortment, let me just sort of erase all of this so you can see it a little bit better. If you have independent assortment, like Mendel said, the B plus, like this guy right here, B plus, VG, VG plus, right? You'd have the B with the VG just as often as the B with the VG plus. So if it were independent, you would have the B with the VG plus just as common as the B with the VG. you would get the B plus with the VG just as frequently as the B plus with the VG plus. They would be a 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 ratio. That's if you have no, that's if they're just total independent assortment, if they're not linked. But notice that this chromosome has a B plus and a VG together. So this one is actually going to be more common than any with a crossover. This one is a B with a VG plus. I don't know if you can see that, but let's get rid of this. So this one is a B with a VG plus right here. So this you're going to get a lot. The only time you're going to get a B plus and a VG plus is if this chromosome and this part of the chromosome cross over right in between the two. So if you end up having a crossover, in here somewhere, then the B plus and the VG plus can get together, or the VG and the B can get together. But these two can only happen if there's crossover, right? If you have crossover, then these two can happen. So we're going to call these parental type gametes. These are the eggs. And we're going to call these recombinant type gametes. And I'll write that down for you in the next slide. The sperm, here's dad, and he has a B or a B. I don't know if you can see that. Let's erase. I'm drawing too much, huh? Let's give that a little space here. So dad is BB, VG, VG. So he only has one kind of gamete. He gives his baby one of the B's and he gives his baby one of the VGs. That's kind of all he's got. So there's the sperm. So here are his chromosomes and here are the different ones from mom. So remember, these two come from not crossing over. So these are, we're going to call these the parental gametes. And then these babies will be the parental type babies. That's because this one is linked to that one. So you typically inherit the plus B with the plain old VG. So this is the brown body type, and this one's going to be the vestigial wings. And often you get, wait a minute, do I have that right? Sorry, this is going to be the brown body type. This one's the black body type with the normal wings. And so you get those two together a lot. These babies right here are called the recombinant babies. They come from the recombinant gametes. Recombinant just means there was a crossover. The only way you got the plus and the VG, the B plus and the VG plus, is by crossover between these. So these are going to be called the recombinant types. So crossing over causes recombination of linked genes. So big A and big B in this case are linked, and little a and little b are linked. If they cross over, you can get a little a with a big B or a big A with a little b. So the recombinant chromosomes are the ones with crossover, this one and this one, but not that one and not the one underneath here, not that one, right? So these would be the recombinant types, and the others would be the parental types. These two would be parental types. So let's define that. Parental type gametes are gametes that were made with no crossover. So this one required no crossover. The parent had the B plus and the VG on the same chromosome. This one requires no crossover. The B and the VG plus were on the same chromosome. So these are your parental gametes that make the parental type babies. And then recombinant gametes are these two. These are the gametes up here. These are the babies right here, recombinant babies, but the recombinant gametes are these. The only way you got this chromosome, see, you can actually see it here. See the red one? This part, B plus, is right here with the VG minus the pink one right here. And this is dad, so that was all there is from dad. And then this one was mostly the pink chromosome, right? The B with the red one, the VG, right? So there's the crossover. So recombinant gamete is when crossover occurred. There's a new recombination. There's a new combination. So typically, if these are pretty close together, you're going to get lots of the parental type and few, not so many, of the recombinant types.